Get started. Erev Tov, good evening. Thank you very much for those who organized or made this possible. Be it people who brought me over, and be it people who arranged this wonderful event. My name is Paz, and I flew 15,000 kilometers in order to teach you guys what I can about relationships. I've been doing this just for the last couple of years, like 17 years, nothing major, and studied it prior to that for 6.5 years. And then I realized that all of this information was already in the Torah. Okay, so I could have saved myself a lot of time if I would have just studied it straight from the sources, which is what I've been doing for the last many years. What's the idea about going around learning from the Torah? Why just not study from experience, study from laboratories? There are psychological laboratories where, you stick people like rats in a lab, you stick them in rooms, and you let them exercise emotional and mental exercises, and you see the results. Well, let me ask you this. You walk into a room such as this, and you'd like to turn on the air conditioner. And you see a button on the wall. You've got two ways of knowing what does this button do. Option one, press it. Nachon? Now, it could turn on the air conditioner. It could also turn on the alarm and send over the cops and exactly fine you with with the fire department fine for turning on the alarm needlessly. Okay? You don't know what it can do. It could set the place on fire. It could release balloons. You don't know what it does, but you can try it out. Option two is what?
Wait for somebody else.
That was very good. Yeah. Do you mind pressing that button? Okay. Option two is, who built this? Who built it? Who put it together? Okay? I call him up and I'm like, look, you built it, you designed it, you put it together, you know what this button does because you designed it to do something, right? Tell me, why do I have to play a guessing game? Why do I have to risk myself or risk failure? Just tell me, what does this button do? You get the idea? That's the idea. If anybody needs to know instructions as to how to put their phone on silent, just give it to me, I'll put it in airplane mode. Do you know how you put any phone on airplane mode? Throw it as hard as you can into the air, it's going to fly. Okay, airplane mode. Okay, so what you do is you ask the designer, what does this button do? I don't need to take any risks. I don't need to have unexpected consequences. He tells me what it does. This is what Hashem did. Hashem created the universe, created the world, created our nefesh, created our minds, both the physical and the spiritual worlds. He created everything we have. He knows how it works because He made it work this way. So all we have to do is ask Him, and since we don't want to ask Him directly quite yet, we'd like to finish our 120 years here before we meet Him face to face, right? So He left us His written word, both in the written Torah and in what we call the oral Torah, Gemara, Mishnayot, okay? And through them, we can study it. Why play a guessing game? So far, so good? Good. Now, we came here to discuss one element from the Torah. It's called Shlom Bayit. Now, Shlom Bayit is an overused phrase. Everybody says, I bless you with Shlom Bayit. Please, Rabbi, bless me with Shlom Bayit. I'm praying for Shlom Bayit. I wish for you to have Shlom Bayit. What is Shlom Bayit? Thank you very much, Webster. The direct translation I can do, but it's not exactly what you define as peace at home. What is peace? Is peace the same way as lying on the beach in Acapulco? Is peace like Israel and Egypt, not bombing each other? What is peace?
Coexistence.
Coexistence, that's one idea behind peace. Coexistence, but then again that could be exactly like Israel and Egypt. I won't bomb you and you won't bomb me, and I really hope for you that you don't live with your wife this way. I hope that you don't go, sweetheart, we have shlom bayit, I haven't stabbed you yet and you haven't shot me yet. We coexist, shlom bayit. Okay, that's one idea. But what is shlom bayit? The Torah talks about shlom bayit. The Torah blesses us with shlom bayit. The Torah commands us to light Shabbat candles in order for us to have what? Shlom bayit. That's the purpose of Shabbat candles, shlom bayit. Which is, surprisingly enough, you need to light Shabbat candles even when you're alone. Where is your shlom bayit when you're alone? Who are you shlom bayiting with? Okay? Do you have suicidal tendencies? You won't kill yourself? Is that it? What is the definition? So I'm going to suggest a definition, and let's see if we can flow with it, okay? Bayit, in Jewish terms, is complete and total meshing into each other of two entities until you don't know where one starts and the other ends. Shalom means that this meshing is done in a harmonious way. So far, so good? That's a very different definition of shlom bayit that most people have in their heads. Most people, oh, they have such wonderful shlom bayit. Why? Because we live next door and we don't hear them fighting. Not fighting could be just like, what is your name? Exactly.
No, I'm trying to write actually what you're saying, but I missed the shalom.
Don't forget to write what's your name.
What's that? I did not.
Okay? So just like he said, shalom bayit could be coexistence. No, it's not coexistence. And where do we learn that? From Yaakov, Parashat HaShavua. Yaakov Avinu is going through, and all of a sudden, night falls. Night falls, he needs to go to sleep. However, he's got a concern. How do I know if my children are going to be righteous? How do I mean, Grandpa Abraham, not all his children were righteous, right? He had the son. Ishmael and Bnei Keturah. Yitzchak, not all his children were righteous. He had Esav. How do I, Yaakov, know if my children are going to be righteous? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna put like a test. I'm gonna like roll a certain dice. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take a couple of rocks, and I'm going to put them next to each other and use them as a pillow, and I'm going to go to sleep on them. If I wake up in the morning and those two rocks merged into one, I know I'm good. My kids are going to be fine. If they don't, I'm going to have problems with my kids. How can two rocks mesh into one? Each rock has its own shape, its own form, its own strengths, weaknesses. It's a solid. Liquids mesh into each other. How can solids mesh into each other? And that's what he was saying. That's what he came to teach us. Each one of us, the man and the woman, are solids. We have our personalities. We have our order of priorities. We have our spirituality. We have our values. And we're quite good with ourselves. We're happy with ourselves. I don't really need to change that much. I'm okay. So I want to stay the way I am, and she wants to stay the way she is, and then the kids are gone. However, I'm willing to let go of my stiffness, to let go of my final form, and acquire a mutual form together with my partner, just like she is willing to do, we will become one. When children are being raised by one, now they're going to grow up fine. They'll be fine. They'll give you hell, but they'll be fine. It's not going to be easy raising any kid. Okay? So the definition of shlom bayit is the meshing into the other. I want to become one with the other. I want to lose myself while not into her. She doesn't want to lose herself into me. We want to lose ourselves into a third place where we're one. So when two people marry, by Jewish standards, by Jewish ideas, by the Jewish philosophy, it's 1 + 1 = 3. We create a new entity that's not the sum of me and her. Okay? Because if you put two rocks into a bucket, you can always separate them back out. However, if you put, I don't know what, pineapple juice and orange juice into a cup, it's over. You can never separate. They'll never go back to being pineapple juice and orange juice separately. And they will acquire new attributes. They are not necessarily what? Pineapple or the other. So far so good? So this is just a beginning. This is how we start. So what we want to do is we want to learn how to mesh into each other. So much for philosophy. Now for the practical part. How do we do it? Now just by show of hands, so I'll know whom I'm speaking with, how many singles are in the room? Single, by the way, you could be divorced or chas shalom alman, or also chas shalom divorced, yeah? But how many married? Okay, so this is a singles room. בסדר גמור. So we'll do relationship coaching for singles. In order for me to be able to mesh into somebody else, I need to start off realizing it's not a matter of luck. Luck plays a role in our relationship in how fast and how easy I meet my partner. It doesn't play a role in our marriage. If you see a couple that's having a healthy, successful relationship, it's not a factor of luck. It's a factor of hard work. Because there has never been a man and a woman who would merge each other into each other seamlessly, without resistance, without difficulty. Since Adam HaRishon, Adam and Chava did not merge seamlessly into each other. And it's only got worse since then. So our expectations of, oh, I'm lucky I found the right husband. You're lucky you found him easy, you're lucky you found him quickly, but that does not mean you're going to have an easy marriage. You're going to have to work on your marriage. Where's the problem? The problem is, A, we don't know how to filter. We don't know what makes a suitable husband for me, a suitable wife for me. She could be a great wife. It's not for me. The second issue is, I don't know how to make the meshing work. So who do we turn to learn from? Obviously Hollywood. I mean, who else is feeding us information? The media. They're giving it for free. And ever since we were babies. Okay? If it's not for Disney, how would we know what love looks like? So we're going to talk a little bit about shidduchim. When I say shidduchim, I don't necessarily mean the conventional shidduchim path. I'm talking about the whole process of men and women meeting with the intention of marriage. So far so good? Everybody with me? Okay. So, how do people meet successfully? The first thing you need to do is don't go on dates. Don't go on dates. Because if you're half-baked, okay, and you're not how should I put it as elegantly and as gently as I can? You're not fully cooked. You're not fully evolved. When you go out, instead of finding the right partner for marriage, you'll find the right partner to overcome your flaws. Again, slowly. Anybody here has already finished overcoming their flaws? Not yet? Lazy people? Okay. So, what have you guys been up to? Absolutely, you're right.
So we're never going to go on dates?
First of all, that's not a bad idea. With what's going on with marriages right now, it's not a bad idea. Stay at home. However, there is this thing called maturity in every aspect. There is this, for example, let's say you're studying to be a doctor. At a certain point, you're mature enough to start healing patients, right? You're not perfect, you don't know everything, but you're mature enough to do it. Let's say you're practicing to become a lawyer. At a certain point, you're mature enough to take other people's money, okay? Whatever it is that you, but you need to reach a certain maturity. You're not going to be perfect. That's the level we were talking about. But if you don't reach that maturity, if you're still aching from your own flaws, what you'll be looking for is someone to heal your flaws. That's a really bad idea. Because as soon as your flaws are healed, you have no need or interest in your partner. It's like a Band-Aid. What are you going to do with the Band-Aid when the wound is already closed and shut? What do you need that for? Okay? And we see that in marriages. They don't say it like this way, but that's what's happening behind the scenes. Trust me, I've been sitting with couples for 17 years, not the same ones. Okay? But that's what's going on. No. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content. Do you guys know about attachment theories? Yes. Have you heard of attachment theory? Okay, there are basically three general types of attachment, okay? There's one that's called healthy attachment. Healthy, I'm healthy. I have faith in myself. I have faith in your love towards me and in my love towards you and in our relationship. I'm in no rush. I'm not panicky. I'm not anxious. Anxiety is not what drives me. And my fears and wounds are not what moves me and flies me away. So far, so good? That's a healthy attachment. That's not us. Okay? Those ones are married with kids. They don't need us so much. Then there is us. We divide into two. We divide into anxious attachment. Why isn't he calling me? I texted you 3 times. I texted him 7 times in the last 15 seconds. He didn't call me back yet. Okay? Just like the the young Polish bride calls up her mother a couple of days after the wedding. She's like, Mom, my husband is cheating on me. Like, why would you think that? He's like, because he comes back from work, he finishes work at 5, and he comes home by 5:30, and it's 5:40, and he's not home yet. So he must be cheating on me. Her mom is all, sweetheart, don't be negative, be positive. Think in positive ways. Maybe he's dead. Okay? Why would you think negative? Okay? Okay? That's anxious. Then there's avoidant. Avoidant is like putting your arm to protect yourself and then sending your other arm to come give me a big hug. Okay, I want to hug you, but don't come too close. Until here. No. I'm feeling too emotionally connected. I'm going away. Honey, what's bothering you? Nothing. Is everything okay? Of course. She's just, do you know what mahmir is? Somebody who takes halakha extra. He does extra, like they do extra stuff. They go above and beyond. In mahmira, with Tisha B'Av, she does it most of the year. Okay? Or he does, whoever is the anxious. By the way, it doesn't have to be male or female. When I, for the sake of most of the conversation, when I use male and female, just random examples. When there are things that are specifically male and specifically female, I'll try and make a point of it. And if I don't, feel free to ask me. Okay? So that's anxious. That's avoidant. And what happens is that they're healthy attachments, they're married, having kids, having a good time, we never hear from them, they don't have a need to upload things to Instagram. They live a happy, quiet, regular life. You ask them, how you doing? They say, fine. Sounds really boring. Then all the action and excitement and gossip comes from the marriages of those two opposites into each other. Why? Because each one is trying to heal their wound. Okay? The anxious is marrying the avoidant, subconsciously hoping it would help them be less anxious. Because the other one is completely unanxious, at least that's what they look like. And the avoidant is trying to marry the anxious because they want to feel more and they want to be more proactive and they want to be excited. And then it either blows up or they go through therapy. So far so good? So why don't I heal myself before I go out? Why go through the agony of trying to heal myself while I'm trying to hold together a failing marriage, while the kids and the financials, and that makes it near impossible. So far so good? So that's what I meant, stay at home. Stay at home. Second reason to stay at home. There is what you need and there's what you want, and they're nothing alike. Trust me. If I ask you, what are you looking for in a husband? You tell me what you want, you'll have to flip it 180 in order to realize what you need. Tall, dark, and handsome. You need a midget, blonde, missing an eye. Okay? I've already blessed, I'm just continuing the drinking. Yeah, but that's how the game goes. I keep telling people, I'm not the coach you want, I'm the coach you need. Okay? Because nobody likes to hear the harsh truth. But that's what they need. Because we anyway reject the truth. So if you put it together gently and nicely and softly, that's going to make it even easier for me to reject. If you hit me with a 5-pound hammer, holding the truth in it, I might be willing to accept it. So I'm the coach you need, not necessarily the coach you want. You need to find out, what do you need? And the third element is, we are completely disillusioned as to our place in the dating, let's call it shidduchim world. Okay? Completely disillusioned. The media has deformed us to levels that cannot be imagined. Trust me, I help and I work with shadchanim and shadchaniyot. People are detached from their own reality. Okay? So, until I build myself, until I'm whole and shalom with myself, until I know what it is that I need, and until I realize what's my place in the dating world, in realistic terms, numbers. Why waste my time and other people's time? Okay? And then when I know these things and I go out into the dating world, it's like that. It's so fast and easy. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys an example. A client of mine put up a profile in a Jewish dating site. Called me back and said, Paz, you told me to put up a profile. I did. Now, how do I know whom to answer? How many people message you? The answer was 118. I said, okay. Could you print out the profile and bring it over? Okay. We had a meeting. I looked at her profile. And I'm like, okay, make this 2 or 3 changes. Upload a new profile. Same site. Same person. She hasn't changed. 8 messages. What happened to 110 people? Where did they go? The answer is, it depends on what you're looking for and how do you communicate it. Okay? Are you looking for a serious relationship? No, you're not. You want a lot of humor in your relationship. You don't want a serious relationship. You want him to make you laugh. What, are you going to a TED Talk? You want a marriage. You want the guy to marry you. I'm in a serious relationship with you, but we're not committed. Are you my wife? No, but you want to, right? So why isn't it down on paper? You get the idea? What's your timeline? How long are you willing to date before you tell the guy, look, we're either getting married or you're getting lost, but one of the two is getting done. Okay? How long? 6 years is good? No? Why not? You didn't specify. Did you say anything? No, you said come and use me at your pleasure for as long as you wish without any commitment. Why wouldn't 110 people want to do that? We get the idea? The moment that you have healthy boundaries, now healthy people approach. If you have no boundaries, sheep and cows and cats and all the cockroaches approach. No boundaries, no walls. Could you live in a house without any walls? Are you going to have rats and cockroaches? Yes, because there are no walls to keep them out. So what are you doing pretending to be dating? You're not dating. You're diving head on into a swamp and complaining that you're full of mud, covered by mud. I hope you're not full. Say there, so far so good? So that's what we want to do. We want to prepare ourselves, okay? Just like a job interview. You won't go to a job interview before you've got your degree, you've got your experience, you know what you want from yourself, what your salary expectations are. Nachon? Would you go on a job interview like that? Not knowing anything? I don't know. I'm just here, you know. There was nothing good on TV, so I don't know, there's still TV. Anybody else? I've been out of the loop for a while. Okay? There was nothing good on TV, so I figured, you know, you're alone, I'm alone, let's be alone together. Which is what most marriages end up being. I mean, the joke became a reality. You guys know that joke? You're alone, I'm alone, let's be alone together. It became a reality. And that's not what we want. Come on. I want to feel loved. I want to love. I want to be appreciated. I want to admire. I want all these positive emotions. I want a dynamic home. I want a place of stability. a place where I can let my anxieties go. I've got them everywhere else. At least at home, let them go. Recharge your batteries. Build yourself, get your strength. Then go back out into the jungle. Sada? Now for practical terms, how do we do that? So I'm going to teach you guys a few tricks, and the details here are important. I know this ancient art of pen and paper are pretty much gone from the universe. But if you have any form of putting down what I'm about to say, make sure you put it down in detail. And it goes like this. Excuse me, I'm cooking. Okay. In order for you to get to know yourself, you have to first have a vision of your own life. Now, without a partner, okay, who are you and where do you want to go in life? Because otherwise, if you don't know where you want to go, and you don't know where they want to go, and you don't have an open talk about it, you fall into the relationship, and then you end up playing tug of war. Because the closer you get to your goals in life, the further you get away from your partner if they don't have the same goals. So then you have to choose between your partner and your personality. A lot of people who end up divorcing say that they felt like they lost themselves in the marriage. Now, losing yourself in a marriage could be a very positive and a very negative thing. If we have the same goals, then we lose ourselves into the marriage by meshing into each other and not knowing exactly where I end and they start, and that's a wonderful thing. If you have different goals, separate goals in life, and when I say goals, I mean financial, I mean spiritual, I mean child raising, I mean order of priorities and set of values, then you end up either not wanting to lose the family, because when you lose your partner, you lose your family, and it doesn't matter if it's the man or the woman, both of them lose. Okay? Or losing your personality, your values, your goals, your aspirations, your dreams. Why would you put yourself in a place like that? So what do? You buy a notebook. Yes, this is going to have to be done on paper. Okay? Sorry, I'm old school. You buy yourself a notebook, and you set yourself a set time every single day. Either every day when you wake up, or every day before you go to sleep, or every day at 4 o'clock, whenever it may be. It has to be a set time, and you allocate for yourself 25 to 30 minutes. That's it, no more. Even if you feel all the spirits landing on you, and you are having fun, and you want to continue writing even more than that, don't. And even if you feel like you have nothing to write today, put the pen on the paper, whatever comes to your mind, unfiltered, let it flow through your arm onto the paper. So far so good. You do that for 7 to 10 days consecutive, and if you ask me what about Shabbat? Shabbat has shishi before candle lighting and Motzei Shabbat, you Jewish people. You all know lazy people always use that excuse of Shabbat, and then they don't do anything for 3 days. Because it's Shabbat, it's going to come and it's going to go, and I just left, and no, it doesn't work this way. Okay? People work. And what you need to write over there is as follows. You need to imagine that you've got a genie. Okay? You know those stories about rubbing the lamp and the genie comes out? You got a genie. And this genie is a little bit different than the one in the stories. You know how the one in the stories always says you've got 3 wishes? Okay? And then there was a guy who found a little genie, and he says, look, I can't give you 3 wishes. I can barely give you 1 because I'm a little genie. So he goes, fine. I'm going crazy. I've been married to the same woman for 20 years, and I still can't figure it out. So what I want to do is I want to get as far away as I can to the United States. He found the genie in Israel. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm afraid of flying. So what I want you to do is build me a bridge from Israel to New York. And the genie goes, come on, I mean, that's a life project. Who can do that? I mean, the ocean is so deep, and I can't do that. He said, okay, you know what? Fine. Then let's do this. Help me understand my wife. He goes, okay, so just how many lanes do you need on that? Okay? So that's the genie. You've got a genie, but this genie is as follows. It's on one hand very, very dumb. If you don't specify something, it's going to mess it up. On the other hand, you can ask her as many things as you want and whatever you want. It's only going to make it happen in 5 years. So far, so good? So what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, if you can live anywhere in the world, where do you live in 5 years? Those in their 20s, 10 years from now, okay? Where do you want to live? You can live anywhere you want. Give me a place.
I would stay.
You'd stay in LA. Sorry. So, בסדר גמור. I'm happy for you being content where you are. Baruch Hashem. That's good. Okay? Private house, apartment? House. Front yard, backyard? Servants?
Why not?
What do you care? You've got the genie. Go for it. But if you don't ask, you don't get. Okay? You want a Cadillac? Great. If you don't specify, it's going to be pink. We understand how it works? Now, go into every aspect of your life. Family, friends. If you want to work, professional, spiritual, children. Don't name names. Not for your partner and not for your kids. However, describe them to me. Now, things you can number. For example, how many rooms and how many meters and how many children you've got and their ages. Write down numbers. There are certain things you cannot number. For example, you'd like them to be cute, you'd like them to be smart, you'd like them to be ADHD. What do you like? Okay? Those, they cannot be numbered. So what do? Compare and to. Like, I want a pretty house, and describe whatever house you think is pretty. So far, so good? And go into details. Somewhere around the 7th, 8th day, start writing down your daily schedule. How would you like your day to look like? Weekday, Shabbat, holiday. You guys have Sundays here as well. You just never do anything. This is a great place to be a bum. Okay? So nobody does anything today. Okay? See that? Okay? So how would you like your day to look like? And again, no limitations. After writing this down for 7 to 10 days, let it rest for a week. Now, at any point, by the way, you can change things. So if yesterday you decided you want to have 5 kids 10 years from now, and then the next day you decide you want to have 10 kids, 10 years, so just scratch out the 5 and write 10 above it. Okay? If you decide you want to wake up at 12 o'clock in noon every morning, and then the next day you decided, why waste the sunrise? I want to wake up before sunrise. You can go ahead and change it. After you're done writing your first draft, we call it first draft, you let it rest for a week. Forget about it for a week. Visit it after a week and read it out loud to yourself. Please don't embarrass yourself by reading it to others. Okay, read it out loud to yourself. Do you feel connected? That's your vision. This is your life. Do you feel connected? If not, make the necessary changes. Okay? That's session 1. Now, after you finish that, we do the exact opposite. Make a copy of it. take the copy, leave the original in place, okay? Take the copy, take a pen, and think to yourself, I'm lying on my deathbed. End of the story. That's it, I'm done. I'm just about to give my children my last words of wisdom. Which one of these things that you wrote down that you want in your vision, if you didn't get it, your life was a waste? Okay, so if we go back to the example of the private house in LA with the servants, if you lived the rest of your life never having a servant, was your life a waste? No? So scratch that out. Okay, let's go on. You've got, 7 kids. If you live the rest of your life without kids, would it be a waste? Yes, so you leave that in. Okay? By the end of that, you know what elements in your vision are the make it and break it of life, and which ones are the katsefet. How do you say katsefet? The whipped cream, exactly.
Cherry on the top.
The cherry on the top. Okay, I don't know. I'm no cherry on top. I don't want the ice cream. But, each to his own. But we get the idea, right? That's how you get to know a little bit about yourself without even leaving your house. And you didn't even have to come to me for a coaching session. You do it all on your own. You got questions, contact me. Say there? So this is just one simple example. Now imagine you go on a date with someone who doesn't even know what she wants from herself. Wouldn't you wish she was here and her to stay at home? Nachon? So please don't do that to others. You can ask her on the phone before the first date, did you write a vision? If not, stay at home. Okay? It's getting cold outside at night anyway. So that's exercise number 1. That helps me know a little bit of who I am. Now, you need to ask yourself the following question on the make it or break it. Why is this a make it or break it for me? Why, if I end up finishing my life without children, as far as I'm concerned, that was a waste. Why? I wrote down in my profile that my wife is Jewish. And it's a make it or break it. No Jewish, no wife. Why is that a make it or break it for me? And I've got bad news for you. Things have complicated answers. They're not simple yes, no, that's the answer. Answers are multiple things. Together, they come in different percentages. Okay? You've got a nice blue jacket. Why did you buy it? We've got time. We're not going anywhere. Take your time answering.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yes, please.
It was on sale.
That's the only reason. The fact that it fits you is not a factor. So if you get a jacket that's 3 sizes big on you, but it's on sale, you're still going to get it.
Well, no, I'm still thinking about more of the other reasons.
You see, there are other reasons. So our mind has a difficult time processing multiple things at the same time. So he just clings onto the main one and calls it the answer. No, don't settle for that. Come on, you're not little kids. Dig deep. You're going to find painful things in there. Okay? You're going to find things you are proud of in there. You're going to discover yourself in there. And you should be happy about it. Because believe me, I've been doing this for a long time. I've met a lot of people. And I have never met a Jew whom after I peeled a few of his layers, I wasn't at awe of his beauty. Okay? So what you see in people you don't like, those are the onion's outer layer. You can't eat them. They're not tasty. You cut them and you throw them away. Nachon? But unfortunately, some people are afraid to let go of their outer protective layers. So that's all you see. It's not them. Allow them, give them the space to be able to shed their outer layers. You'll find beautiful things inside. I have yet to meet an ugly Jew on the inside. On the outside, I can see why plastic surgeons make a killing over here. No offense to anybody specific. Okay? Again, the coach you need, not the coach you want. So we're on the same page. Okay. Now, we're approaching a point which sometimes I start with, but I didn't want to scare you guys off. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום אחד. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שני. It's a pattern that we see throughout creation. Right at the beginning of creation, there was nothing in the universe yet, and there's already ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר. There wasn't even a sun and a moon yet, but ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר. What is ויהי ערב? It seems like counterintuitive. We think that the day starts when?
In the morning.
In the morning. It ends when? At night, at sunset, and if you're young enough, then a little into the night. נכון? So why ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר? It's the other way around. ויהי בוקר ויהי ערב. That's the day. That's how the day is supposed to look like. And this is how we count it in Judaism. Which day is today?
Monday.
No, day of the week. No, it's not. Sunset already. It's Tuesday, by all means. If your child is born now, next Tuesday morning, you do the milah. Why? Because today is Tuesday. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר. Why? Let's start with the morning. Let's start with the sun shining, the birds chirping, the butterflies, the garbage trucks, whatever it is. And then we'll call it a day when the sun sets. Why start the other way around? God is teaching us an important lesson. You want to get to the light, you got to go through the dark. There is no light without going through the dark. It's not like, okay, we're going to have light and then we'll deal with the dark. No, that's not how life is. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the reality. Reality is, if your tooth aches, before it gets better, it's going to hurt a lot worse. Okay? If you've got problems focusing, ADD, ADHD, or any other four-letter word, okay? Before it's going to get better, you're going to suffer a lot more. We get the idea? You feel lonely now? You want a cure for your loneliness. Before you feel the relief, you're going to go through a lot more agony. So far, so good? Okay, so the conclusion is no growth can come from your comfort zone. So if you have a problem feeling embarrassed, pain, shame, offended, that's the latest thing. Yeah, I'm offended, okay? Then you look at your mirror, look at the mirror, not at your physical self. Look at your personality. Look at your spirituality. Look at your life. That's exactly how it's going to stay. Because you're not willing to come out of your comfort zone. You're not willing to feel the pain, the offense, the embarrassment, the shame. You get the idea? So when I go to my coach, my rabbi, I go there to get hit. I go there for him to cut into me. The more pain I feel, the happier I am, because I know that now I have the potential for greater growth. The pain is those layers, those outer layers, ugly, useless layers of the onion peeling off. Do you think the onion is enjoying you tearing layers of it off? No, but that's how it becomes useful, edible. It becomes something you can do something with. What are you going to do with an onion with the peel on it? What can you do with it? Nothing.
Can't even juice it.
Thank you for that visualization. Okay? Nachon, you can't even juice it. You can't do anything with it. You can just let it rot in there until he's 55 years old, single, sitting alone at home, no kids, no family. But at least he's got his outer layers. He didn't get offended. And he wasn't embarrassed. And he didn't have to admit his flaws. Or dig them out or work through them. Is that a fair deal? Would you like that deal? No? Okay, then find the coach you need, not the coach you want. Find somebody who's not going to tell you how pretty and smart and fancy-mancy you are. Your mom already did that, and look where it led us. Cedar? So you got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. Those people with, remember the types of attachment, right? The healthy ones, they are used to, they're accustomed to being outside of their comfort zone. They're looking forward to it because they know that in this discussion where we're going to open and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to be honest with me, it's not going to be a comfortable discussion, but then we're going to bond even further. So I can't wait for our next fight. Again, assuming you guys know how to fight, and if you don't know how to fight, that's a whole different chapter. We're going to have to learn how to do that. Okay, for the Hebrew speakers, there's already material about it online. For the English speakers, I haven't had a chance yet. Be'ezrat Hashem, my next visit. So far so good? I've got 3 chapters on how to fight. And for those who think that marriages, good marriages, healthy marriages don't have fights in them, then Be'ezrat Hashem, at the end of the lecture, the unicorn will come with the tooth fairy to pick him up and take him home. He doesn't need an Uber. Okay? Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes?
So with the writing procedure, basically you're saying write for a few minutes every day about what your goals, aspirations.
20 to 30 minutes.
20, 30 minutes. Or what you see your life being in 5 years from now.
No. What you would like your life to be if you had no limits, you had a genie making anything possible. What you think your life will be, that's all your demons. I'm not interested in them.
Okay, so it's what you would like for your life to be, and that includes your future wife, and you want us to get like really detailed down to the hair color.
Nachon. And you're not limited. Again, genie, you can have future wives. No limits. Don't constrain people. Okay? Yes, exactly. Go down to the details. Ages of the kids. What are your activities with them? What do you do for a living? If you work at all, what does your wife do? Do your kids study? Do you live on a farm?
Now, if you completed this on the first day, what are you doing for the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 consecutive days after that?
You didn't complete it on the first day. You didn't go into detail.
What's that?
You didn't go into detail. This document needs to be roughly 20 pages long. You're going to finish it on the first day in 20 minutes. You write a page a minute? That's good for you. Alevai alai. You'd make a good secretary one day, okay? But no, it's a lot of material. And the problem with it is a lot of emotional material. We're very embarrassed to admit what we really want. All of us.
Do you think it's embarrassment, or you think we don't believe that we can get it?
Both. They're not mutually exclusive. There is, we don't believe we can get it. We're afraid to get it. We're afraid of whom we will become once we get it. Okay? Power corrupts. Trust me. I know.
Before you continue, is it being on your YouTube channel? Is it going on there?
If the recording is going to come out well, then yes, there is a YouTube channel called Pause for a Minute, P-A-Z, the digit 4, a minute, all one word. And hopefully it's going to go up in there.
Do good, healthy marriages have arguments? I mean, is it...
They have to have
They
arguments.
have to have arguments?
Have to have arguments.
Okay,
But the question is, what's the definition of argument?
Why do they have to have arguments to be healthy?
You want the answer on psychological, you want the psychological answer, the social, or the spiritual?
Oh,
But why do you?
Look, I brought my tefillin. I have nowhere to go. Anyway, I'm here. Okay? My kids are 15,000 kilometers away. I've got nowhere to go. But you guys got to get home eventually, right? You're saving, movies on Vimeo. You got to watch. Okay, series. The answer is real simple. We go through life and we collect garbage. Okay? We're magnets for garbage. Philosophical garbage, psychological garbage, emotional garbage. If we were clean and we would mesh according to the rules of the game with our partner, the meshing would be painless, seamless, no agony, no effort. However, we're full of garbage. And every time we try to mesh, and the meshing process hits one of the garbages in either side of us, that's when the fighting happens. Now, if we fight correctly, we expunge the garbage out of us, and we bond in that point. If we don't fight correctly, we keep the garbage in. Was that deep enough? Everybody got it? Do I need to explain it in layman's terms, or are you guys good with this? You understand?
the garbage is the wounds that we have.
Wounds, wrong ideas about things, false aspirations, things that won't lead us anywhere. Okay? It's not only our garbage. We also inherit other people's garbage into us. Sada? We gotta get rid of this. And self-work and meditation is not enough. We gotta go into life and we gotta bump into situations, and then instead of running away from them, as society teaches today, I'm offended. We gotta dig deep and expunge the garbage from within us. Seder?
So you're saying, like, in the course of a relationship, your fears are gonna rise to the surface,
All of them.
and your other half is gonna see them and comment on them, and it's going to basically, touch a certain emotional nerve or whatever, and that's how you're gonna get perhaps either into an argument or something along those lines. It's gonna be a point of contention.
נכון מאוד.
Now, with regard to the task, you're saying like maybe after 7 or 10 days of consecutive writing, leave it off for about a week, come back and revisit it, and then do what? And at what point do you write, if a person's on his, if somebody wanted to say his last word. So after, let's say, a week.
Once you're satisfied with what's written, I mean, if after a week you look at it and you're happy with it, then go ahead, do the deathbed exercise. If you're not happy with it, then go again through a 7-day experience of adjusting, changing, adding, reducing, removing, version 2, 3, 500. Say that?
It's like a cleansing process.
Absolutely. Cleansing and self-discovery. Okay? We're very afraid of a mirror. We're very afraid of the internal mirror. I literally had people book an appointment, pay money, sit in front of me, and be completely afraid of the meeting. I'm like, look, you're almost shaking. Would you like something to relax? He's like, you have no idea. I've had your phone number in my pocket for 4 years. I've been referred to you by 3 different people who don't even know each other. I couldn't bring myself to come to you. I'm like, okay, that's fair. You should be afraid. But you should know that this process you're going through, this scary process you're going through, you're not going through alone. I'm here for you. I'm going to go through it with you. So we're together. You're not alone. And that's all the comfort I can offer you. I can't make it easy for you. I can't do it for you. There are no shortcuts. And those who offer you, run away. So what's there left? What am I there to offer him? I'll be there with you. Sadar? Okay. That's a little bit of self-creation, cleansing, self-realization, knowing who I am. Who knows what's good for me? What's good for me? Is the one I want is good for me? Who said? Trust me. Go through your house. Everything you've got in there is what you want. Is everything you've got in there good for you? I didn't even talk about the fridge yet. Okay? Is everything good for you there? Is the car you bought for you good for you? Is that really suitable for your finances? Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Do you know what a good car is? A good car is a paid-off car. That's the best car you can drive. It's a car you can afford and you've already paid it off. That's the best car. I've got the best model. They keep asking me, what do you drive? I'm like, I drive the best car in the world. Okay? The rear view mirror there is there mostly to watch out for parts falling off of it. But nonetheless, it's already paid off. We get the idea? So does everything you have is really good for you? No. So we see that not everything we want is good for us. How about we look for a partner that's good for us? And for that, we need to put our ego aside. And admit of our flaws and what we need to complete them. Okay? Some of the things are not necessarily flaws. They're the opposite. They're the other side of our attributes. Okay? For example, one of my attributes is, I'm blunt, I'm straightforward. I'm the opposite of PC. Okay? So I need a wife who's got tact to teach me some, to help me maneuver through life, not to bite everybody's heads off, to leave a couple of people in the crowd. You get the idea? So I know what I need. I'm the kind of person who would bite off more than he can chew. I need a realistic woman to tell me, Paz, that's too much for us. But that's a shot to my ego. What do you mean it's too much for us? It's what I want. I, His Highness, wants. Yeah, but I gotta look not for what I want, but for what I need. And what I need is positive, healthy, constructive criticism that comes from a loving place. Was that too complicated? Because every element in that sentence is crucial. Without one of the elements, no deal. It's gotta be positive criticism. It's gotta be constructive. Just to criticize me without telling me what to do and helping me and motivating me towards fixing it is useless. Okay? I don't criticize people on something they can't do anything about. That's just cruel. Okay? It has to come from a loving person. Why? Because I have to live with her. I'm willing to accept criticism, but it's going to leave a certain dark place in my heart towards the person who criticized me, right? So I'm willing to accept criticism from you as long as I have to see you once a month for 12 minutes, at most. Okay? But to live with you, having been criticized by you, I don't want to do that anymore. But if you came from a loving place and you've expressed that love, and the criticism came with love, it makes me love you even more. Cedar? So you got to know what you need. Forget about what you want. Most people, look at the profile of what they're looking for online. Like they're buying sheep in a farmer's market. I mean, it's not going to be long before on dates you'll see people counting each other's teeth like they do with horses. Every element in the filtering process is external and superficial. Even if you go to look for internal elements, there aren't criteria for you to pick. I'm looking for somebody who's emotionally mature. How can I where's the website where you can filter for that? I'm looking for someone who did some work on herself. Yeah, I did some work on myself. I'll give you my surgeon's phone number. You can ask him. Did plenty of work on myself. I'm half plastic. Okay? Yes.
If what's good for me or what I need is different than what I want, is the answer to finding that out setting aside my ego, or is it more than that?
It's more than that, but when you set aside your ego, you start the journey and you're in a very good place. I mean, you can fine-tune from there, but you did a great peak part of the journey right there by just removing your ego. So, you guys have excellent questions. I gotta compliment you guys on a really nice level in the room. I enjoy that. Very good job. Okay. So I'm going to look for someone that I need, not someone that I want. I spoke to Shadchaniot, and one of the first questions is, do you mind which ethnicity? Do you mind? I'm like, what's up with these questions? Where's the question about, do I mind somebody who knows how to communicate? Does she know how to take accountability? Does she know how to be accountable for things she's done? Is she going to go into a coma if she says the words sorry? Or can she actually do that? And mean it. And I mean just saying sorry, like, you bump into somebody on the train. No, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I was wrong. And I'm willing to fix it. Not just the ramifications of my mistake, but whatever behavioral thought pattern that has led me to it in order for me not to find myself in that place again. That's what I'm looking for. Well, first of all, you gotta be one first yourself. Okay? Because it would be very, very sad to look for something like that, find it, and have her reject you. Nachon? And you know that I'm talking male, female, and they're interchangeable completely, right? So first of all, become like that. Learn to take accountability. Learn to admit you're wrong. Learn to fix things. Dig deep. Do you know how to over-communicate? Have you guys heard of the term over-communicate? Over-communicate is not when you yap and dig his brains out with nonsense. Over-communicating is expression of information that may be necessary and may not be necessary, but I would like to make sure it's on the table. Do you know that in times of stress, in times of emotional difficulty, you have to over-communicate in relationships? This is a basic rule. Basic rule of relationships. Regardless of which relationship it is, including with your kids and your siblings and your boss and your neighbors. Okay? Trust me, I come from places of stress and instability. We just had bombs thrown upon us just a few months ago. Okay? You need to learn to over-communicate. Do you know how to over-communicate? If not, why would you expect to get someone who does know? And if you do, she's going to suffer or he's going to suffer, okay? Learn to over-communicate. Have you answered untruthfully to people you love to save yourself pain and agony? I'll give you an example. You're in a bad mood. Now you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to dive into it. Your partner asks you, what's wrong? You lie to them, again, no PC, and say, nothing. Stay at home. Stay at home. Nobody needs to be miserable being stuck with you. Learn to communicate. You don't have to have the full-blown discussion, but why would you lie to them for your comfort? If you're lying to them in order to save them pain, that's a different story, okay? Aval, if you're lying for your own comfort, you don't have that privilege. That's not one of the rules of the game. Sweetheart, I'm sorry. There are things wrong with me. I'm having a hard time talking about them right now. I'm weak. Yeah, I can admit my flaws. I'm weak right now. I would like to talk about them later on. Can we please talk about them at X day and time, and I will initiate the conversation. That's how it's answered. And if you're not there yet, stay at home. Are we on the same wavelength? We're there? We're getting it? You with me? You've met your partner. Oh, by the way, who can tell me when does a relationship start?
When you start to, like the example you had with the profile, when you start picking, you narrow down exactly what you want or what you need.
Okay, so I know what I want, what I need, but I don't have a partner. Are we in a relationship? And with whom? The unicorn with the... That's not the kind of relationship I'm talking about. Not a relationship with myself. When does a male-female relationship start? לא כולם ביחד. מה?
Press the button.
You press the button. The eject in the car when she's nagging me. Which button? then I'm in so many relationships right now. Oh, you have no idea. I do believe that the car saleswoman her husband would be very upset that I'm in a relationship with her.
Say hi with intention.
Oh, I have a lot of intentions to everybody. So hi, I'm in a relationship with her. Hashem Yerachem. I hope that not every guy that says hi to your wife is in a relationship with her. Is a big problem. The answer is simple. When I'm married to her. Everything prior to that, and as far as I'm concerned, you can live with her and have 7 kids with her. But you didn't marry her, you're still filtering. Women, did you hear that? There is no consequence for him saying, Assalamu alaikum, bye bye. So where's the commitment? If there's no commitment, where's the relationship? Where's the relationship? Where's the relationship? What relationship? You're in a filtering process. The fact that you're lazy and scared and drag out this filtering process over 17 years, that's up to you. And do you know how I know you're in a filtering process? It's very simple. Take a guy and a girl who claim themselves to be boyfriend and girlfriend, which is ridiculous for me. I mean, to me it's funny when people beyond the age of 8 use those terms. He's my boyfriend, he's my girlfriend. I gave her a ring I got in Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. Hilarious. But you know, to each his own. So I had a couple like that, and they sit over there and they're like, oh, they're so lovey-dovey, and you know, they would sit next to each other and they were, you know, hugging and holding hands and this and that, and I'm like, come on, that's like completely inappropriate. So I used them as the victims of that evening, and I told her, oh, you guys look so in love. She's like, yeah, of course I am. I'm like, you love him? Yeah. Do you love her? Of course. Is that your first boyfriend? She's like, no. I'm like, did you love the previous one? She's like, yeah. Did he love you? Yeah. So he's your current until the next. She's like, no, I really love him. I'm like, okay, so let me ask you a question. Why aren't you marrying him? I'm not ready yet. Right? The common nonsense answer? I'm not ready yet. So, what are you, chicken in an oven? What do you mean you're not ready? Okay, but nonetheless, I flow with it. Okay, you're not ready yet. Let me ask you a question. How long have you guys known each other? Quite a while. She didn't say, I don't know him well enough. Okay, if you don't know him well enough, then I understand. You still need to know him. But you say, I'm not ready. So it means you already know who he is. Make a decision. But she's not going to make a decision. I said, okay, let's put together an imaginary scenario, okay? You're driving home. A semi-trailer runs into you. You wake up in the hospital having railroad tracks all over your face. You know what railroad tracks are, right? Missing an eye and most of your teeth. He visits you in the hospital and he says, look, I still love you and I'm willing to marry you, but only now. What are you going to do? And you don't need to answer me because I already know what you're going to do. You're going to grab him by the neck before he changes his mind and run into the Rabbanut and marry him on the spot before he wisens up. Why? What changed? What changed? Did you finish your degree? That was in a college, by the way. Okay? I was in one of the universities in Israel. I'm like, did you finish your degree? Did you save enough money? Are you now ready? How did you become ready from last night to this morning? Nothing, just the options are gone. The filtering process is gone. For now, you'd like to keep him on a small fire, small flame. You continue simmering while I search to see if I've got better opportunities. Again, men, women, doesn't matter. If I exhaust my opportunities and I don't have anything better than you, then I'll allow you to grace in my presence. We get the idea? Where's the filter? You go on a date. What are you here to check? What are you here to check? What would you like to know about her? What are you going for a date for? Because you don't like eating dinner alone? Because you don't like watching movies alone? Go, get used to watching movies alone and you get used to eating alone. Don't go on dates not to be lonely. Go on dates to filter out a suitable partner for the rest of your life, called a husband or a wife. And only when you say, that's it, it's this one forever, and I'm going to express that in front of everybody I know, with legal and financial and social ramifications, only then have you started your relationship. And by the way, it's completely backed up by science. Because people's brains change once they get married, and women's a lot faster than men. For men, it takes about a year to sink in that they're married. They're not really married yet. They did the chuppah, they've got the ring, it's in their documentation, but it hasn't sunk in yet. Kind of like winning the lottery and still going to work the next day. However, with women, not only is it instant, I tell my grooms, I groom grooms for marriage. It's called adochat chatanim. I tell my grooms, take a picture of her the night before and the day after. The face changes, the person changes, the personality changes. And don't think she has lied to you. She didn't present somebody else. This is who she was. She was someone different. So how can the relationship start if it's not the same person? You understand? So get the filtering done as fast as you can, out of the way, in order for you to start the relationship. Now, don't do a sloppy job filtering, yeah? Filter properly. Filter properly. Take your time, but come with intentions. What am I here to check? I'd like to check her social skills. I like to check her communication skills. I like to see how she deals with rejection, with opinions that are different than hers. I'd like to see her deal with stressful situations, with happy situations. I want to see, is she graceful when she gets a gift? Or is she entitled? Sedar? Come with intentions. You're filtering. Could you imagine doing job interviews for a company, filtering out potential employees and just hanging out with them? No, I'm filtering. We went out for a movie today. We're going to eat something. There's a nice show in the thing. Well, I'm filtering. I'll figure out which one of these should be the next employee of our company by playing miniature golf. Okay? Go with it. I'm not saying don't have fun. Have fun. But with progress. Fair enough? Okay? What's her view on family life? Now, people say, I would like someone with values. Everybody has values. There's no one without values. We don't have a problem with values. Our problem is our order of priorities with our values. Do everybody love their kids? Yes. Does everybody like comfort? Yes. Does everybody want money? Yes. What comes before what? Under what circumstances and how far? Push things to the extreme. Get stuck with them in traffic without reception. See how they react. Is that there? So far so good? Now, officially, technically, we have 4 minutes left. I didn't mean it as a joke, but I'm happy you guys are on a roll. Okay? So I'm a little afraid to open the next subject because it's even more, it goes into actual the marriage. Is that there? The question is, would you like to start question answers?
No, open it.
Open it? Open? Okay. Okay. There are certain rules, I call them the fundamentals of marriage. Then until a couple of mine hasn't established those, doesn't have them down, I don't start dealing with what's bothering them. Okay? Because most couples come into coaching, and the way they approach the coaching is pretty much how I take my car to the mechanic. It's like, look, this broken piece of lemon is all messed up. There we go. Fix it up, hand it back to me, proper. Okay?
But it's paid for.
Huh?
But it's paid for.
It's paid for, exactly. So I'm stuck with it. Okay? And it's literally how people come into relationships, relationship coaching. And what I do is I tell them, look, until we don't have those fundamentals down, we have nothing to talk about. Okay? I don't care what's bothering you. I don't care which fight you had. I don't care what's facing you. People come in for a couple of sessions and they call me, Paz, he did this, he did that. I'm like, okay, and what should I do? I'm like, what did you do last week? What did you do last month? Same thing. Whatever you did last month, you do today. What changed? We get the idea? Okay, so it goes like this. First of all digital communication is only for technical information. Hello? Microphone working? Testing? 1, 2, 1, 2. Are you guys with me? Did you understand what I said? So ask.
Can you repeat it?
All digital communication is reserved for technical information. You want to text your partner, you want to text anybody, not just your partner, your kids, your friends, your family, your co-workers, your mother, your son, your uncle. Anything but technical information is face-to-face. Only technical information is passed over via digital media. Okay? For example, the address for this place, digital media. How was the lecture? Face-to-face. How was your day, honey? Don't tell me. I'm not going to tell you over the phone. You want to express my emotion? You want a technical information of how was my day? Not a problem. I woke up at 6:45. I proceeded to do netilat yadayim, brush my teeth. You want technical? Vakasha, over the phone. You want emotional? While I'm facing what? The front windshield of my car? Forget about it. You want a relationship, or you just want to put a check mark next to, here, we talked today? We get it? There are no, she told me, I told her, not even over voice messages. Not even in video. Another problem, you call up a person. Do you know what their situation is? Have you seen what happened 5 minutes ago? Do you know their mental and emotional state? No. Then what are you talking about, emotional stuff? You want to pass over technical stuff? Go for it. But emotional stuff, what are you talking about? We get the idea? If you're standing outside your boss's door and you hear him screaming and yelling into the phone, and you finish the conversation, you knock on the door and say, can I come in? You go, yes. And you walk in, do you go, boss, I want to talk about the raise I didn't get recently. Is that what you're going to do? No, because you've got brains enough not to do that. But you will do it over the phone, because you're an idiot. We don't talk anything that involves emotions, where? Over any digital format, whatever, fax, phone, pigeon, I don't care how you pass over the information. It has to be, how? Face to face. Okay? Second thing, this is my personal rule. I don't talk to hungry, tired people. If a person is tired, if a person is hungry, either one, don't talk to me. I've had people show up to a meeting. I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him. And I realize the guy is not all here. I'm like, hungry, tired, or both? He's like, no, I'm okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. You're oozing okay. I'm like, come. Wait. It was my last meeting for the day anyway. I'm like, come. We're going for a ride. He's like, where are we going? I'm like, what do you care? I'm driving. Get in. We go. I'm like, we're going to grab something to eat. He says, I'm not hungry. I'm like, okay, don't be hungry. But I don't like eating alone, and I am hungry. So I'm going to eat. You look at me while you've got food in front of you. So I don't feel bad, okay? Yishtabach Shmo La'ad, before I finished Netilat Yadayim, he was halfway through his hamburger. Not hungry. Okay? And then, finally, I had access to the person. Until then, I had access to his survival mode. He's not here. Okay? I've got a rule with my kids. Nobody gets in the car unless they ate. Being a good Persian, that doesn't excuse me from bringing food to the park. But nonetheless, you don't get in the car unless you ate. Okay? You're crazy if you get into a closed little box without the option of getting out of it with kids that are hungry or tired. He's not the problem, you're the idiot. You don't have ADHD kids. The kids have a... You get the idea. Okay? So I don't talk to... Your partner came home, you come home, something... What do you mean urgent? Urgent as in right now? No, but we have to make a decision regarding tomorrow morning. Then right now, dinner. Then we rest. Then we talk. Next rule. Every couple has to have 4 dates. No 4 dates, no counseling. Date number 1. You have a weekly fun date. Most couples, most married couples, forget why they got married. The reason they got married is to have fun, to enjoy. They forget about that real quick. Very, very soon, they get married only to change diaper and pay mortgages and bills. That's not what people get married for. So once a week, every single week, you put everything away, the kids, the phones, everything. And if you say, how can I leave the house with the babysitter and not have a phone on me? I am living proof that it's possible because my parents did not have cell phones. And they went on a date, and I'm still alive. How could that be? Most of my parts are still there. And as far as I know, the house didn't burn down yet. So stop with the nonsense. On the date, we talk only positive things. We don't mention any negative issues, even if they don't have to do with us. Okay? Oh, you know the neighbor, the blonde one with the red hair, her cat got run over. No negative stuff. You don't have anything positive or nice or interesting to say, chew gum. You got duct tape at home? Okay? Don't talk. You don't have to talk. But if you talk, either say something interesting, say something nice, say something positive. Ask, how was my day, your day? And even if you're asked and you had a really bad day, you have to find something positive in it to share. Otherwise, nothing happened today. Beseder? We never go on a date hungry, even when we go out to eat. Which means we have to leave room for food, but never hungry. Okay? How long should a date be?
First day in an hour, but other dates a little longer.
No, I'm talking about those weekly dates of married couples. How long should the dates be? The answer is, as long as it would still make us want to have another date next week. Because sometimes you've had a long day, sometimes you need a long date to relieve the week. Okay? Communicate, talk about it. Hey, let's have a long day today, let's have a short day today. Okay? What happens if on we have a set day and time that we go on dates, right? What happens if on a certain week, you cannot go on a date on that specific day and time? The answer is, you got to move it to another day during that week, but it doesn't just evaporate into the ether. Okay? That's date number one. Oh, by the way, you guys have to divide between you guys all the stuff that needs to be done in order for you to go on a date. Okay? For example, who needs to put down the babysitter? Who needs to get a babysitter? So we need to decide that before. Who chooses a place to go to? We need to decide that before. Who makes sure at least one of us brings a wallet? Beseder? Okay? You don't decide it on the day of the date. That's date number one. Date number two. Date number two, I call it the office meeting. What's the purpose of an office meeting? To eat bagels. Why do people have office meetings? Why do companies have office meetings? The answer is, in order to bring about, discuss and resolve issues within the company. Okay? So there are things that bother you, there are things you think that should be done differently, there are things you think that needs to start getting done, or things that we need to cease doing. When do we discuss it? We constantly criticize and badger each other? No. We have a notebook, we write it down. Every week, each one of us picks one point. One single, tiny, little, very focused point. And we bring it up to discussion. And we discuss only that, no adjacent points. We don't steer off of subjects. We stay on the point. We discuss it. Whether we arrive at a conclusion on this meeting or not, maybe we need 10 meetings. Maybe we reached a brick wall and we need outside involvement in order to resolve this issue. But we only discuss one point. And then when we finish discussing my point, then we discuss my partner's point. You say, but one point, there are sometimes 10 things can come up in a week, right? Well, we've got 50 weeks a year. Each one of us is bringing up 2 points. That's 100 points a year of improvement. I think the rest can wait. Choose your points wisely. You only have one each week. So far, so good. Now, how does the discussion take place? And this is where they don't teach us enough communications. Discussion takes place the following way. It's very, very simple. I come and I present the point that requires improvement. You listen, understand, ask me questions to understand, and then relay back to me what you understood from what I said. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what's wrong with what I said. First of all, relay back to me in your own words, what did you understand that I said? Only after I tell you, yes, that's what I meant and that's what I said, go ahead. Give me your opinion, correct things, bring things in. That's called discussion. Okay? Any basic scientist, philosopher, lawmaker, they all learn this. You know who doesn't learn it? The rest of the world. And everybody needs it. Because every house is like a governing body. Nachon? So why don't we need these tactics? Say there? Then, after you express your opinion, your rejection, your disagreement, your approval, whatever it is you express, I cannot express my opinion on what you said. Because I have to first what? Relay back what I understood from you. Do you know how many couples sit in front of me and sometimes they start having discussions in front of me and I sit back and I just watch the show. I'm like, wait guys, just give me 3 minutes, I need to make popcorn. I mean, this is super entertaining, chaval. I'm missing out. This is so funny. They're like, why? I'm like, because it's how two deaf people would have a conversation. You talk, then you talk with no regards to anything this one said, and then he replies, no regards to anything you said. Just two deaf people having two different conversations at the same time. The only thing they're doing is their eyes are working, so they're waiting for the other mouth to shut before they start talking. That's it. And they're like, why would you say that? I'm like, let's recall what's been said. Okay? You understand? Hilarious stuff. Don't be hilarious. Okay? And if you are, bring popcorn. That's second date. Third date. Ready? The third date every couple needs to have is every couple needs to eat at least one meal together every single day. Now, I can tell you that for me it's near impossible because my schedule is crazy. I never have 2 days that look the same, which is what I need because what do they call the hormone that you get when you play video games? Dopamine. I'm short on dopamine, so I need every day to look differently because otherwise I don't have enough dopamine in my system. Okay? Every day for me is a surprise. So how are we going to eat a meal? I mean, sometimes we barely see each other. The answer is we just make sure that we're together long enough for at least one of us to eat and the other one to join me with coffee and crackers. And that's called we had a meal together. Okay? But we need to do the act of this together. At least once a day. Without that, where's the marriage? I mean, what are we, roommates? Say there? For the fourth date, get engaged, set a date, call me, I'll teach you.
Huh?
What part did you miss?
Just set a date
For the wedding. Get engaged, set a date for the wedding, send me an invitation, call me, say, Paz, remember, I was in lecture, LA, you came, yeah, no. You said there are 4 dates, you gave us 3, then we got stuck with our tongues out. What's the 4th one? Exactly. So I'm engaged. Can you teach me the 4th one? I'll teach you. Questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't understand the concept of over-communicating. Why do you have to do that? I don't get it.
When people are stressed,
What was the question?
yeah. Go ahead, tell them.
The concept of over-communicating, why do we need to do that?
Why do we need to over-communicate? The answer is as follows. When people are stressed, when time is strict, and things are getting worse and worse every day when it comes to stress and such, then we move more and more into our instinctive element and less into our thinking and feeling element. Now, if we're just technical people and we're doing technical things and there aren't emotions involved, then great. We don't need to over-communicate anything. Basic communication, good enough. We're a sales unit, we're charging in, all we do is communicate the basic stuff we need to communicate. We're in and out, and we've got Obama. However, if emotions are involved, if it's my husband, my wife, my kids talking to me and telling me, do that, bring this, not now, later, there's always emotions involved. But we don't have the luxury of expressing them. So assumptions go into the system. Emotions unnecessarily surface. Reactions happen to things that didn't happen. They happen only in our minds. And why? Because there was a void. And that void is filled with our imagination. Don't let a void get created. Fill that void with information. That's called over-communication. Clear? Understood? Everybody got it down? Really? You guys are really good. Serious. That's the third time tonight. You guys are very good. You're pushing my envelope. Okay, very good. Okay? Any other questions before we wrap it up fashionably late? Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my information because the world is this small. I came in, I even kept my Israeli number. I'm still talking every day to my kids. Okay? The world is this tiny. So we can all talk and communicate, and you guys can ask and comment. And I know there are questions that people cannot ask in this format. So feel free to call me anonymously in video and tell me, ask me whatever you need, and I'm here for you, especially for the invitations for your wedding. Mazal tov, laila tov. Thank you very much all for coming.